We'll see you in September. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world.
Day job.
I'm Dan Marty along with
John Cena Sr.
And I'm in a great mood. Fans, AEW Rampage has come to an end, but things are just heating up. It's a brand new Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays now. Tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to another all-new Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Friday. Johnny, what happened to the summer?
It's gone. It went faster than I expected. It went quicker than I expected. But you know what? I am not stupid. I took my Fabo bucks and millions, and I'm building an ark. You too can get a spot on there now, 2x2.
An ark?
Listen, it keeps raining, brother. You know what's going to happen. We're just going to flood up, and I'll be rich. I'll save everyone. 2x2.
Fabo's ark?
Fabo's ark. You got it.
Well, you let me hang off the side of the boat, I guess. You'll be
you
that
can be
generous.
right
I can
there
get
with
on
you.
the boat?
Get on the
wow,
boat.
geez, you're not bad of a guy,
You
Johnny.
and Linda Marati, I'll take care of you.
I think, you know what? I think everybody was just so mentally going nuts because of masks and everything.
Oh, the
I think
rain.
they were so happy to get out of the house and do things. I think that's why the summer did kind of speed by on us.
It went quickly. You know, the rain didn't help. The heat was unbearable. It's going to be unbearable.
The weather was
tomorrow.
crazy.
Yep, it's going to be crazy tomorrow. It's going to be, it's going to be 95, but it's going to feel like 3 digits. So it's going to be warm. But you know
We'd
what?
have days of that, and then we'd have days where it was so cool, you almost feel like you needed a pair of jeans and a hoodie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So did I say we all had a great time?
But-
We've survived it. Now September is here.
But technically, summer is still until the 21st.
Of September.
Which also happens to double as, in case anyone wants to send anything to MWF Studios, doubles as my birthday.
When's your birthday?
The day the
September
seasons
21st?
change. You can never forget it. That's why I was always able to remember Linda Marati's mother's birthday.
And that's a
'cause hers
Thursday
was
or a Wednesday?
this year?
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday.
Well, we have to tape Fabulous Fridays on Tuesday.
All right, well.
And we'll get a birthday cake in.
And you'll throw my face in the cake.
I won't do it. Maybe Monique will, but I won't.
Well, Monique is a classy lady. She's always welcome. I would be honored to celebrate my birthday with Monique.
Maybe we'll get an Italian rum cake and have some fun.
Hey, you know
We'll
what?
see. You don't know.
It's interesting because the 21st is my birthday, and the 28th is the quote-unquote official 20th anniversary date of Boston Wrestling. September 28th, 2001 was when we ran our first event, which was a wild circumstances just a couple of weeks after 9/11. Again, the world had gone crazy in a different way than it had with coronavirus. But, you know, I'd like to do an episode, something separate maybe sometime soon with a few of the guys that were around back then, because it's been a very interesting 2 decades.
Why don't we?
I know, I'll say one thing. We always talk about age sometimes. Other than my stress level and the actual pain my body's in from the accidents I've been in, I don't feel a day older. Just like
know
you,
what?
staying so vibrant at the age of 60.
Not even that. 55.
Oh, come on now. No, let's not BS too much, Johnny.
Well, you know what? I'm telling you.
But I mean,
September 28th, we should have a happy birthday cake down here.
well, that's
anniversary
the
cake.
28th is the anniversary of Boston Wrestling.
That's right. We should have an
Okay.
anniversary cake down here. We should have Hacksaw do a little bit of spread. We should allow 10 or 15 fans in here. Maybe do a little.
Maybe have Slick in. He competed in the
Yep.
first match in the history of the company.
Why don't we do it?
Never mind the first show. He was in the first match.
You know what, fans? What do you think about an anniversary party September 28th? Anniversary cake, coffee, Fabo Pop, and special guest Slick Wagner Brown.
I think it'd be fun.
Let's do it.
It's always fun. Well, I don't know. You have Slick was someone that was under contract to you before your buddy Camo Zig, as he likes to call himself. But we won't talk about that.
You know what we'll do right now?
What's that?
Why don't we put that all aside? Let's put all those.
And for one night.
One night, put it aside.
Remember the good old days.
We can agree to disagree, but still be friends. Come on down, Slick. Maybe Justin Credible might want to be here. You know what? Let's have an anniversary party. Let's do
Live?
it. What?
Live?
Live.
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 September 28th.
Let's do it.
And you know what I'll be wearing, though, baby? Because I know especially my friend June McCowan, that always pays me compliments on how handsome I am in the premiere chat, baby. I got it right here. Sexy as hell. Strawberry lemonade.
Nobody pays
You would never
compliments.
think that scent would be a cologne-like substance. But our friend JTG of Crime Time, he is a walking QVC, as I tell him. He's always got these new products he's working on to try and keep his finances relevant beyond pro wrestling, which is an extremely smart thing to do. He's got me smelling great. I can't keep these women. I feel like you almost. I can't keep the women away. If you saw what I had last night, Johnny.
I probably have to
Johnny,
drink that stuff.
I
then.
tell you this. If you saw what went on last night,
Oh!
John, and you know,
Strawberry lemonade!
and you know I wouldn't do this unless I was talking legit. If you, I tell you this, Johnny. JTG, baby. But anyway, back to the world of professional
Yes,
wrestling
sir.
fans. We are now just about 10 weeks away
Yep.
from the big one, Saturday night, November the 13th, the historic Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Johnny, we are going back to the 80s to celebrate those 2 decades. We're going to have the VIP exclusive Legends Q&A. We're going to have the autographs. We're going to have the posed photos. And that's before we light Memorial Hall almost on fire with hot in-ring action. The tension, it's going to be combustible, Johnny. We're going to blow the roof off of Memorial Hall. And I just hope one person goes along with it from her little corner office.
Well, we'll be safe because the fire department's right next door.
Yes, so
And
we
you
will be
know,
very, even if technically it did light on fire.
Boom, we're
the
all
fire
set.
department's next
right
door.
next door. And you know what? I guess I've been getting.
They wouldn't even need to take the
I'm
fire
gonna start
truck out
sending
of
out some tweets, but I know that I've been getting some texts and messages wanting to know if I'm going to be there.
This event, Johnny, I have to tell you, is shaping up to be the biggest event in our 20 years. For the fans that have already got involved in the process with the VIP packages, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It helps so much when you guys get your tickets in advance. It helps us plan. And as I had stated on the official event Facebook page, Johnny, and I'll say it on video now, I am saving the 8th slot for who the featured 80s legend will be, because if we sell out of those VIP packages in advance, I'm going to do something really, really, really special above and beyond, I think. But we need you guys to participate.
How many more we
And
need?
that's not a tease. Oh, they're well over half gone.
Well, then, you know
I
what,
mean,
folks?
they're going really good.
That's good. Let's make this the biggest blowout for MWF Boston Wrestling. Let's get the other 50% sold, and let's see who the big superstar is going to be.
All right. Well, I don't even know. I'm just saying. I am promising. And you know, Johnny, I wouldn't promise something. That's
Nope.
That's something we have been dead set against in our 20 years. But if you guys sell out those VIP packages, we're going to go above and beyond, and we're really going to bring you something spectacular as far as the 8th featured guests go. And that's not to say that the other guests we have a chopped liver. We've got some Hall of Famers and some legends that have packed the Boston Garden back in the day. So we've got great talent coming your way, and that's to say nothing of the hungry young athletes, the superstars of tomorrow that are going to be in WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling. They're all going to be competing that night in the ring, along with the great Legends ceremony. There's just so much to this event. And where it is November 13th, we're going to have a tremendous Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks raffle that night. So one fan is going to win a great jackpot of prizes. The way I look at it is we can do one Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive raffle at the event, and then in December, we can do a cyber version here in the studio. So we can do 2.
I like that.
And plus, who knows what's going on with you and these fabulous women everyone's talking about on social media. It was all over Reddit the other day, I was told. John Cena Sr.'s Fabulous Women of Wrestling coming soon.
I don't see that happening.
No more Fabulous Women.
I don't see that.
Well, I know Oscar was dead set against it. Why?
First of all, I thought I had a venue, which we don't. I don't think we're going to be able to get that. Secondly, I'm the kind of individual that when I put something together, like yourself, I want it completely put together so that it works and works well. Nobody likes disappointment.
It's about the quality.
Right. And Vicky Guerrero wants to start an all-women's show. My thought would be perhaps next year would be the time to approach Vicky Guerrero, see if she's interested in helping us with it. We get this thing put together, find a great venue that we can use, and let's go forward from there. You know what, folks? I'd rather do it right than rush in to bake the cake, burn it, and be unable to put the frosting on it. Because whatever I do with the fabulous world of women's wrestling has to be top
Quality.
shelf. Top shelf and quality. There are a lot of young ladies out there looking to come on, a lot of young wrestlers out there.
All over the country, they
Yeah,
wanted
but
to
there are
come
a
in.
lot of young people out there in this business, because of the COVID situation, that are unable to wrestle. They have no jobs. So there's a lot of great talent out there, and I'm sure once we get this secured and get it together the right way, we'll have a fabulous world of women's wrestling.
So it's almost like one of those big summer blockbusters. Coming soon, the fabulous women of wrestling.
I won't rule it out,
Yeah.
but at the same time, if I can't do it right, I won't do it at all.
Well, I respect that. I respect that an awful lot. All right, Johnny, let's get back into the thick of things. There was so much that went on at SummerSlam. We haven't even finished wrapping that up yet. What did you think about the, I thought, a really great storyline and angle they came up with for Lashley and Billy Goldberg, which aficionados said was the combined age was the second oldest title match in WWF history, behind a Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan match on Raw in 2002. But Billy, I think he did a good job selling the leg. But where I thought the great angle was, Johnny, where Lashley was beating him down, Billy Goldberg's teenage son, who has grown quite a bit since the first time we saw him in 2016, jumped in the ring, and they treated it like it was a fan jumping in the ring, and they had Lashley put the hurt lock on a teenage boy, with the storyline being it wasn't quote-unquote illegal or an arrestable offense because they did think it was a quote-unquote fan. And he had Billy Goldberg that couldn't walk, crawling, trying to get to his son. And I really thought it was a good storyline for a match that maybe lacked a little bit.
Well, Goldberg made the statement that he's very proud to be working with his son. So he's training him to get into the business.
Oh, really? I see
Yep.
that. I didn't know.
Yep. So, and I think that was kind of alluding to what was going to happen. I did not watch the show, so I'm unable to comment. But knowing Goldberg and knowing Lashley, I would assume that both gave it 150%. And I think Goldberg now has one match left.
No, I think he has, it was 2 per year as far as I know.
But his contract's up to the end of the year,
No, in 2022.
2022.
But my thing is, so the vendetta between Lashley and Goldberg is not over. I almost wish they did more to injure Goldberg so they could push this out further. I wouldn't waste Goldberg and Lashley at Extreme Rules, even though with that's a hot angle with him, Lashley attacking his teenage son. You almost think it fits the theme of Extreme Rules, you know what I mean? But would you waste a Goldberg match on a B pay-per-view?
So maybe you might see Goldberg manage his son.
I don't think Vince is going to put a 15-year-old in a match.
15 years old?
I think that's about how old he is.
Well,
I don't think he's definitely not of age.
you know what? All I can say is this. It's the world of professional wrestling.
Where would you, let me ask you though, if you had the pencil with the storyline as we just laid it out, Goldberg wants revenge for his son being attacked by Lashley, plus Lashley beating the hell out of his leg with the steel chair in a very effective manner, where would you place the rematch? Would it be Extreme Rules? Would it be one of those awful Saudi Arabia shows that no one watches on a Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? Would you save it for Survivor Series, one of the tentpole events? With WWE's pacing and patience, do they have the patience to hold off the Survivor Series on that? I ask your opinion.
One, if I had the pencil, it certainly wouldn't be the next show coming up.
Okay.
Because you've got to sell that injury. Goldberg should be present with his leg, with his crutches, in a wheelchair, whatever. We've got to sell the fact that Lashley really hurt Goldberg. Who's taking care of Dad, pushing that chair with the crutches? 15-year-old son. We've really got to work on this. And then we extend that storyline so that it comes to a crescendo at the very end, maybe where Lashley believes that Goldberg is still injured out of that chair, and we use it for one of our big Survivor Series pay-per-views.
You'd go with Survivor Series.
Absolutely.
I would too. I wouldn't rush it.
Nope.
Now, again, I don't know if we got to this point in our conversation last week. Where would you do Lesnar and Reigns? I mean, I think it would be a complete waste to have that at Extreme Rules. No one watches the Saudi shows. The Saudis shows are worth big money to the company, but I think they're more for Saudi Arabia than they are for America. It's hard for fans to tune in on a Thursday at 1 in the afternoon. I think it's too big of a match for Survivor Series. I think it's a WrestleMania match. I think anything other than WrestleMania, you're doing a disservice to what could be a great storyline with. Who is Paul Heyman going to go with? Who's Paul going to take to the prom? Roman or Lesnar?
If they go with that track. However, you asked me where I'd put it. I wouldn't waste my time with it.
You wouldn't even have the match at all.
Nope.
All right, well, how about this? This is what we're going with. You're hired as a new writer for WWE. Where would you place where they're going direction-wise with it?
Storyline, WrestleMania.
You try and play it out that long?
You'd have to.
I know I would, but I mean, I think we both know
But
they do not have the pacing or the patience to hold off till WrestleMania.
That's professional wrestling. Storyline. You can always find a way to work it. You can always find a way to make this thing come into fruition if you do it the right way. Heyman disappears. Why? Where? The head of the table doesn't have the mouthpiece anymore. What's happened? Lesnar responsible? Maybe there's a third party involved here. You know what? There's so many things that you can do if you understand professional wrestling and if you understand where we're going with this. But it has to be a WrestleMania moment. Personally, not interested. Been there, done that. I've seen Roman Reigns get the shit kicked out of him by Brock Lesnar. I've seen it happen again. You know what? It's like Cena, Reigns, been there, done that. I didn't think, according to you, it was a beatdown. I didn't think it'd be that bad with Cena and Reigns, but apparently it was.
I think it was slow and methodical is the way I describe it.
Well, but you know what? Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It's the same thing The Rock did for John. So I understand. It's business, and it's good for business. So, but my whole thing is, you know what? Good luck. There'll probably be a ton of people who want to see Reigns versus Lesnar. I can only say this. The more I read, the more I see, people are getting tired of the head of the table.
You want to know how I'd book it if they let me have the pencil? If they wanted to go that route the way they did with the comeback, I would have had the comeback at Survivor Series, where Lesnar shows up after Reigns' match. Then, at the Royal Rumble, I have Lesnar come out number 30, managed by Paul Heyman.
Oh, yeah.
And I have Lesnar win the Rumble.
Yep.
And then he decides, at that point, Paul tries to push Lesnar to face the Raw champion, but Lesnar says, no, I want Roman Reigns. Then you have the perfect scenario of, F it. What do I do if I'm Paul Heyman? Do I go with the guy that just won the Rumble, who I've been with since 2012? Or do I go with the man that I currently represent, Roman Reigns? And then I think you have a very interesting road to WrestleMania. I think they did it too early. I think they were so eager to bring people back because AEW is getting so much publicity. They brought back, they didn't need to bring back both Becky and Lesnar on the same show. They overdid it.
Well, you know Lesnar's got a job.
Who knows? No, you don't know that for certain.
No, please. You know what?
How many credible opponents are there that could beat Roman if John couldn't do it? What are they going to do? Bring over Drew McIntyre in the draft, which I expect?
Not going to happen. You know what? They're trying to build Roman up. They're going to do the same thing to him all over again when they're making him a heel. They're not doing the right thing now. He's being invincible. He's not.
Why not be invincible?
But he's not.
Why not have someone be invincible? I think that's what wrestling's missing. I would have given Lesnar a Bruno run. I would have had him hold the title for 5 or 6 years.
Oh, Brock?
Who could beat him?
If he was full-time.
Yeah,
or
even Roman. Why not do it with Roman?
I don't think Roman's got the draw. What happens?
Who does? Who does?
There isn't anybody.
You have
there.
That's it. You have to make
There's
someone. You have
there.
to make the fans care about.
There's nobody there. And
I agree with you, but I'm saying is
people are getting,
build someone to make them care.
People
Bobby's
are
too old.
They're getting tired. They're getting tired. As great an athlete as Roman Reigns is, you see me do a 90-degree, as great an athlete as he is, as great a job as he's doing, people are sitting back saying, okay, thank you, what's going to happen now? So you're going to bring back Lesnar with the attitude that he's going to defeat him? Reigns is going to knock out Lesnar. He's got to knock out all the big match is going to be Roman Reigns against The Rock. That's the final match that'll put Roman Reigns in the position that he needs to be.
And like I mentioned before, I was told by powers that be that one thing they were working towards was a tag match. So Rock would have less of a chance to get injured. Rock and Jimmy against Roman and Jay. And to me, that loses a little bit of WrestleMania appeal if they do that.
You know what?
People would want the singles match.
Who knows what they're thinking? I think they're on the right. They were, and they still are on the right track with Reigns. But you know what? Even with Bruno Sammartino, there was always that crack in the wall. He lost. He lost several times. He always got it back. The fact of the matter is, not because it was Cena Jr., somebody should have beat him that night. It's the crack in the wall, the vulnerability. Now what happens is, I always believe in chasing that belt. Let's be real honest here. Do you think with Cena, him having the belt was worth more, or him chasing the belt was worth more?
I think when they decide to make him have a real chase and they actually build up that he's going for the 17th instead of just vaguely mentioning it, I think people will be very excited.
Well, it's not going to happen. I don't see that 17th championship.
You don't think he's going to get the 17th? Really?
Nope. I don't think
Did
so.
Howard give us the signal to end the first segment? I don't remember.
I don't know, but let's say we're going to end it.
Howard did. I'll ask Howard, since we're a very interactive organization. Did you give me a signal?
Yeah, you winked.
And I missed it.
No, Bill, you gave me the wink.
But I mean, did we
You
go
gave
to
the
the
wink.
timeout that we needed?
Yeah, we went over by like 10 minutes or something.
Oh, well, you know what, wrestling fans, right now, we're going to take a look at our big Back to the 80s WrestleFest Saturday night, November the 13th, Memorial Hall. Get your tickets now over at bostonwrestling.com. It's the best value in professional wrestling. Those VIPs are flying. We'll be right back. Tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com for our 20th anniversary Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. The World Wrestling Federation was live in St. John's, New Brunswick, Sunday, September the 3rd, 1995, a historical night. In the opening contest, Jean-Pierre Lafitte beat Bob Holly. Fatu battled Waylon Mercy to a double countout. WWF Women's Champion Bertha Faye retained the title over Alundra Blaze. Bret Hitman Hart victorious over Isaac Yankem, DDS. Hakushi defeated Duke the Dumpster Drosy. And in the main event, the WWF Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels and Lex Luger with the win over WWF Tag Team Champions Owen Hart and Yokozuna via disqualification. This was Luger's final WWF match, jumping to WCW the next night on the premiere of Monday Nitro without giving notice to WWF, as Luger was no longer under contract. If you were in St. John's live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service, so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep Wrestling Legends working during the worst of times Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. SummerSlam certainly was quite the night. They had some lousy women's matches, in my opinion, a couple of pretty good tag team title matches. I did enjoy those. The championship matches kind of got a mixed reaction. I'll say this, what I thought was the match of the night was Edge and Seth Rollins. They had a really great outing. Edge came out to, I don't know if you saw it, the Brood, yeah.
I love that man. And he actually dumped blood on him.
Well, leading into it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. You know what? Adam Copeland, it will always be up there with one of my favorites.
Even though he violated you.
That young man understands this business.
Young man, he's almost your age.
He's a young man,
All right.
understands this business, and he's proving to the world what professional wrestling is all about. If nothing else, that match, which I did see pieces of, showed you exactly what it's all about, to tell a story, and those two men seamlessly brought that together. That's the way wrestling needs to be.
And you know, it does not have to be repeated that I am not a fan of the Seth Rollins reincarnation since they castrated him by making him Becky Lynch's boyfriend.
Please.
But character-wise aside, I have always said that Seth Rollins is a tremendous professional wrestler, bell to bell. His gimmick to me may be very boring and fake and forced, but his in-ring work is phenomenal. And that Edge and Seth Rollins match, that was the one that had me glued to the TV screen.
Well, I saw
great
bits and
action,
pieces.
great selling, great psychology. They did everything right. Everything right. If you didn't, some people thought Roman and Cena was slow and methodical. I get it. Some people didn't want to see Goldberg even in there with Lashley, even though I thought that told a pretty good story too. I get it. When it comes to Edge and Rollins, Edge was ageless, and it was just a great match from beginning, middle, and end. They did everything right. I'll say it twice.
Thank you.
All right. The next night, Johnny, as if AEW Rampage, which we mentioned last week, and SummerSlam wasn't enough, we had NXT TakeOver 36, which we did another live watch along for, and we had a lot of fun. A couple of great matches. Samoa Joe became the first three-time NXT World Champion, defeating Karrion Kross, who now has a bizarre new look on Raw, which a lot of fans don't like. They feel like Karrion's already being castrated on the main roster, and I don't think the man should have been pinned while he was still NXT champion on WWE TV. I'll say that much, but it remains to be seen long-term what Karrion's future is on Monday Night Raw. But Samoa Joe, you know what? There's a guy, whether you love him, hate him, I think he's a very credible person to hold that championship.
I like him. I like him. I met him at UPW. Outstanding individual, understands this business. He's got a great persona. He can sell. He knows how to make it work. You know, I think they did a great thing by putting Joe down at NXT because he's got so much to pass on, to teach these young, upcoming athletes, men and women. So, hooray for Samoa Joe. He's another one of my favorites.
He was involved in the tryout. I think you're familiar with the fact they had a giant tryout in Las Vegas, SummerSlam week. Joe was involved in that. And I was proud. Two guys we had on our last live event at Memorial Hall were not only part of the tryout there, but Vicente Reywasco and Channing Thomas were the two lead security guards that led Goldberg to the ring the next night at SummerSlam. So I thought that was pretty cool. The two of our guys, they put in that position and thought highly of it. It'll be interesting to see. I believe they've signed over a dozen athletes that were at that tryout. So they need to replenish the stock with everything they're getting rid of. I don't know how much we've discussed I know we did discuss the NXT releases, but NXT potentially being rebranded a bit by Vince McMahon after he went down with Bruce Pritchard and Johnny Ace. I think it's both right and wrong. I think the mantra that WWE now says they don't want to go after any more midgets. They want to try and go after and sign younger guys that are in their 20s that they can groom the WWE way. I think that's, to me, smart, and I would go about it that way. The thing I think is wrong is that they have also the mantra that maybe they need to rebrand and gut what NXT is now on USA Network. I think there are, a few times over 1 million, but mostly, 700,000 fans that tune into the USA Network every week that love NXT as it is. Why not let NXT be that quote-unquote indie-centric type wrestling brand in your organization? Like a movie company. They have R-rated movies. They have PG-13. They have PG. Why not let NXT be a place for smaller wrestlers, so to speak, indie wrestlers, so to speak, and let the fans that enjoy it as long as USA is willing to pay the money. And what I would do is with these new folks that they want to sign, these quote-unquote bigger talents, younger talents, don't expose them on the NXT TV show. Don't let them be seen until Terry Taylor and Shawn Michaels and Norman Smiley and everybody at the Performance Center feels they're ready to go to Raw or SmackDown. Hide them. That's how I would go about it. I would not gut the NXT that they have now. I thought, as I noted, that to get rid of Bobby Fish was crazy. I mean, granted, he's a little long in the tooth. When you're older than me, I think you're a little long in the tooth.
90?
But a guy that had a lot left to contribute, Mercedes Martinez, who wrestled for us. And I mentioned, and I'm not 100% sure if I mentioned this, Johnny, but I know, a lot of people, oh, Dan and the women, blah, 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 blah. October of 2002, what was the main event in Wakefield, Mass? Mercedes Martinez against Talia, the future Velvet Sky. So we had a women's main event before Vince did. But anyway, again, apparently she was released because she was getting a little long in the tooth. I think there was a place for them in WWE NXT. I just hope they don't destroy something that they built up to the point where, they were running house shows that could draw 2,000 or 3,000 people. On the big pay-per-view weekends, they could have takeovers that could sell out stadiums, or not stadiums, but you know what I mean, full-sized arenas where NBA and NHL teams would play. What do you think? Do you think they should gut it and fill it in as almost full, all developmental with these new, younger, big guys that they want to sign? Or do you think maybe they could do it separate? Have the PC be the place for these new trainees, have them work those small Florida house shows, and keep the NXT TV show as is?
I don't think Vince ever wanted an NXT. That's Triple H's baby. Congratulations, Paul Levesque. He proved somebody wrong. And you know what? Anytime you throw a challenge to me or you or anybody else, that just makes me want to do it all the more. My prediction is I don't think there'll be an NXT. I think that you'll have the academy, which will be the college for professional wrestlers, but I don't think they're going to start sending these young men and women out. They're going to do it all right there. I don't think they're going to continue to pour money out that way. If you're going to limit the number of people, the stars, the ages, it's a situation where I think next year NXT might be a thing of the past.
Really?
You got Ring of Honor out there that's
Even
trying
if
to make
USA is willing to pay that kind of money?
You know what? Maybe they'll change the name. But I don't think that, the flavor that you get when you hear the upper group talk about NXT doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
And when you're
That's a good point.
Yeah, and so I sit back and go, I only hope, I keep my fingers crossed, because I think right after September, October, there'll be another wave of releases, and then after the first of the year, February, March, you're going to see a big wave of releases, and that's going to include some of the, I think, a couple of the top stars, as well as the final decision on NXT. I don't get a warm, fuzzy feeling.
Well, if you want to feel warm and fuzzy, folks, when it comes to NXT, don't forget that Extreme Rules Sunday, raffle tickets are available now. We're going to have our Corner raffle, which includes anywhere from 6 to 12 autographed NXT posters, depending upon how many raffle tickets we sell. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com for more information on that, but we're going to help the great kids at Corner. It's always good when we're able to send them off a check to try and do some good for some kids that certainly don't deserve to be in the position that they're in. That's very important to me. Hopefully, I know it's important to you. Hopefully to you at home, you feel the same way. Whether you win the jackpot of posters or you don't, you're still a winner because you're helping the kids, in my opinion.
I agree.
But continuing to talk NXT, Johnny, I believe it's the end of, not to be confused with our good friend Annie's baby, Adam Cole, Baby is, I don't know, the merchandise is all in the clearance section now on WWEshop.com. His contract is expired. Do you think we'll see Adam Cole show up with his girlfriend in AEW? I think he fits the mold perfect size-wise.
Oh, no question about that. I am assuming that Cole is no longer a member of the group. He will show up somewhere. Where that is, I don't know. Impact, New Japan Pro, NXT, he's out of that. AEW. I really don't know, but my guess, if he's going to move anywhere, if I were he, AEW would be the place I'd want to go. But there again, AEW, we've talked about it. I'm really impressed. I don't think you want to be known as the people that buy secondhand goods. I think they've proved a point. They've taken the superstars that WWE feels they don't need. Why would you let Daniel Bryan go? Why would you?
Well, Daniel Bryan's contract expired. He wasn't released.
No, but he decided not to renew.
Right.
Why? Why wouldn't you try to save that person?
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, who you built up to be this giant, this mega superhuman being, and then you made him a comedic idiot, and then you let him go? And Bray Wyatt, who I used to love all those cell phone lights. I mean, it was there. They had it. And you let him go.
You want to know what I think the money angle would be? But the problem is there's so many guys that aren't big in AEW. Imagine if, I know we talked about Bray Wyatt's non-compete ending right around Halloween. At that November pay-per-view, whether some kind of main event or some big match going on, and all of a sudden lights go out and you see Wyatt, Strowman, and Eric Rowan come out together. But they're all so much bigger than the majority of the AEW roster, I think it would make them look like youngins. You know what I mean?
I can't wait to see what happens.
Do you think that would be an interesting scenario?
You know what?
To group them.
I just sit back and say, maybe the faction starts all over again in a different way. Maybe Wyatt reforms the family in a different way. I just can't wait.
I think if they did go that route, I think the fans would go nuts. I think the problem is you don't have a lot of guys size-wise that match up with them.
You know what? If Rey Mysterio...
Wyatt to a point, sure, but Strowman and Eric Rowan would make a lot of those guys look very, very small.
That's the power of the family. If he's going to form the group, that's the power of the family. The giants. The family is giant. We control. We bring people in. We bring people in. We control AEW. It's ours. When the bell rings, the death knell sounds, it's your turn to die. It's just almost Undertaker eerie, but I could see it happening. If they write it the right way, if they do it the right way, we'll see.
You know what else I would do to spicing that up? I'd have Jim Mitchell manage them.
I go on with that. Whoa.
I'd have Jim Mitchell manage them.
I go on with that.
Because Rowan isn't much of a verbal piece. Strowman basically just screams. And then maybe to tease what Wyatt is up to, maybe not have him not talk at all for a while.
James
Keep
Mitchell.
us in suspense.
I'm here to raise hell, and hell is here now.
Now, I want to stress, folks, that is not something that I heard from any inside person or a scoop. That is just an idea that if I was at a creative meeting, I would toss out there to see what the people have to say. Right now, we're going to take a brief time out, folks. We'll be back to wrap up the show. Stand by.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, chill. You know?
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Here's your chance to own a piece of history from the 2020 WWE Draft. On the second night, October the 12th, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss unleashed hell on Andrade and Zelina Vega. This limited edition 11x14 collector's poster is number 26 of only 50 made, personally signed by both The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, direct from friends at WWE. Comes with certificate of authenticity hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing. You'll also receive a bonus autographed mystery photo and an on-air shout-out as our thanks to you. Get this ultra-rare autographed Fiend and Alexa Bliss poster now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. Again, it's going to be interesting to see where Adam Cole winds up. He and Kyle O'Reilly had one hell of a match at NXT TakeOver. Johnny, I say this, you know, we talked about the quote-unquote new mantra that's out there about them not wanting smaller guys, the guys in their 30s. Kyle O'Reilly is one of my favorite people to watch in pro wrestling, but I ask you this, for example, if WWE was to bring him up to Raw or SmackDown, what would they do with him? I mean, physically, beyond his outstanding athletic ability in the ring, he looks like an enhancement talent. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I think he'd be lost in the shuffle.
I agree.
That's why I think NXT needs to exist in its current form.
Like I say, I don't get a warm, fuzzy feeling, but let's see where it goes from there.
And even Walter from NXT UK, oh my God, you talk about a throwback. Yeah, I believe the problem is he doesn't want to move to the United States full time. But that match, the NXT UK match they had on the NXT TakeOver 36, wow. The top three matches they had on the show. It's just great stuff. It was great to see our friend Ted DiBiase be involved in that storyline over the $1 Million belt for a couple of months. I think that wrapped up last week on NXT TV. But it was fun to see Ted. It was, it'd be nice to see cameos like that involving guys for short stints, not bring them in full time, but come up with a storyline arc for, 6 to 8 weeks. Give the guys a payday, give them a little exposure so they have more viability when they're out there on conventions and Comic Cons and independents and so on and so forth. And I've actually had a chance to speak with Ted since he did that, and he's had a heck of a lot of fun with it. I only wish he could be with us Saturday night, November the 13th at Back to the 80s at Memorial Hall, but he already had a booking that night. He's so busy. So unfortunately, Ted will not make his Memorial Hall debut, but hopefully he'll be with us again sometime in the near future. Johnny, again, so much to talk about, so little time. We always run out of time. One thing I did want to mention, where I consider it time sensitive, is that we lost one of the greats, someone that I was shocked is not in the WWE Hall of Fame. I thought he went in one of the older incarnations back in the 90s, but we lost Dominic DeNucci.
Bruno Sammartino's partner, basically. I was shocked at that.
Well, he was 89. I don't know.
He did have some issues.
Yeah.
Another man that contributed to a lot of men and women coming up into this business. A hard worker from a foreign country that came in. He and Bruno Sammartino.
He's one of us. He's one of us, baby.
He's one of us. A sad day for professional wrestling. But
it hit Mick Foley hard, who he trained.
He trained him. But the thing is, we keep saying it, I say it. I'm not here to push tickets. I'm just an
No, we're here to push tickets.
Yeah, well, you are. I say it at every podcast I do, every TV show I'm on. If you've got a chance to meet a Jake the Snake, if you've got a chance to meet Axe and Smash, Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South, you know what? Come on down, because look at the way it's going. A wrestler made a comment. People I used to work with are no longer here. I'm a rare breed. There's only 3 of us left, or 2 of us left. You know what, folks? Come on down. Relive the 80s. Listen with the Q&A. Listen to the stories. It may be the fact that Jake the Snake might stop doing appearances. It may be that God may decide that one of these folks is not going to be here.
Look at what we lost. Road Warrior Animal, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
It's your time.
They were going to be with us.
Yep, it's your time. So I say reach out. I don't care where they are. November 13th is a good spot to be, but wherever they are, get there. Get what you need, because you know what? Young or old, you never know when the bell tolls, and we never know for whom that bell will toll.
Well, Johnny, you know with what we're planning, the fans, whether they're young, old, or anywhere in between, they're going to have the time of their lives.
Amen.
With all the different activities we have going on November 13th. The in-ring action is going to be superb. Some great athletes lined up for that. Even for the fans, you know what? My thing, and I've told you before, and maybe it doesn't make a good, unquote, good business person, but I hate the fact that we even have to charge for autographs and things like that. But it's the only way to pay the bills. You know what I mean? But one thing we will do is, for every fan in attendance, we are going to have a great ceremony for all the legends. So you'll be able to, even if you don't have $20 to get an autographed picture from so-and-so, everybody will get to see the legends as we pay homage to them in an in-ring ceremony that I think will be very, very nice.
And if you get your cell phone and they're all in the ring at once, you get a picture right in the ring of all these legends at once. And, you know, I'm sure that if you don't have the money for an autograph, I'm sure somewhere down the line you can pick that up. You know, so I would say come, enjoy yourself,
Right.
Enjoy the legends, enjoy the wrestling, and you know what? Enjoy the surprise if I show up.
Well, it's going to be a great night all around, Johnny, trying to celebrate 2 decades as we wrap up here. I know you promoted some spot shows for WWF back in the 70s. Did Dominic compete on any of those shows?
No.
Oh, he wasn't
Never,
on them?
No. I wish he did. The guys I had was Handsome Jimmy Valiant, the Grand Wizard, Classy Freddie Blassie, Chief Jay Strongbow. Now think about this. All those individuals that I've just named.
Bye. Gone.
Stan the Man Stasiak, gone. You know, I mean, you just look and I'm saying, how fortunate have I been?
We can't go have a Back to the 70s event, that's for sure.
No.
And we imagine how great that would be if we could.
Can't do it. There's
You
nobody
know, and
there.
I tell you, there's one talent, I won't mention who he is by name, but just someone that I would have loved to have had with us, but just wanted an absolute small fortune that I didn't think name value-wise was worth it. They're at an age where they're elderly and they don't want to leave the house unless it's really worth it to them. It's the same situation we faced with the Iron Sheik, who wants almost a year's salary for the average person to come out of the house at this time, because it's so difficult for these guys, you know? So when you have a chance to meet them, again, it's not a hustle to try and push your death or things like that, but you never know when it might be your last chance to be able to have that memory, to have that moment when you meet them in person. And I tell you, you'll never forget it. It'll stick with you the rest of your life. You're going to have the time of your life. We have been working painstakingly hard for a long time to come up with concepts to make this a great night for everybody, whether you have a general admission ticket all the way up to an ultra VIP ticket. Everybody that comes is going to leave November 13th with a big smile on their face, I think. And they're going to love it, and they're going to want to come back to the next one we got planned, because as we know, David Reese says if this event turns into the success it is, we're going to be going back to the 90s, maybe in the spring of 2022.
Pray God we're all here.
All right. Well, we're running out of time, folks. So much more to talk about. I wanted to try and get a tribute to Dominic DeNucci and our best, to his friends, to his family, to his fans. May he rest in peace. someone that contributed to this business that he loves so much for so long. I believe he had a retirement match at the age of 80, which I can't imagine was very pretty, but at least he did it. If you want to be pretty, though, baby, or have the pretties chasing you, sexy as hell. Strawberry lemonade bay spray, baby. Howard Miller tried to steal the bottle from me. Lou wouldn't even show up today because I wouldn't let him have a spray.
Wow.
If you saw what I was doing last night, Johnny, you'd say, Marty, you're like a teenager all over again, baby.
Wow.
You're getting a little frisky.
Wow.
Because you got the strawberry lemonade.
Wow. I might have to try that.
Oh, you got enough women.
All right.
Save
Okay.
one for
All
me.
right. All right. Okay.
All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time again. The Corner Skewer raffle will be ongoing. Get your raffle tickets now at bostonwrestling.com. You are guaranteed to win 6 autographed NXT posters, depending upon how many we sell. It could be as many as 12. That's a hell of a jackpot. But either way, whether you win the posters or not, you're a winner because you're helping those poor kids that are involved with Corner Skewer. And there's nothing worse than that. I feel I'm blessed that my accident happened to me because I would take that car crash I was in any day as opposed to one of the 2 kids being hurt like that and having to live the life I've lived. I'd take that beating every day the rest of my life if it would mean the 2 little Marathis wouldn't have to. So we want to help those corners. Geez, I'm getting worked up, Johnny. We want to help those Corner Skewer kids the best we can. Again, we're going to be headed to Vegas in just a week's time for the Cauliflower Alley Club, bringing you some great footage. We have some great guests lined up there. And again, the tickets are available, bostonwrestling.com. We've had people from as far away as Virginia buy tickets for Back to the 80s WrestleFest, November the 13th. They're coming from all over. The hotels in the area are going to have to thank us for this night of legends, this night of superstars of every era. I can't wait to see the young guys light the ring up and make a great impression on fans that may not be familiar with them. That's the great thing about the quote-unquote independent stars of the future that you'll see in WWE and AEW. Again, we want to try and make it as cost affordable as possible. I understand with the VIP packages, there's even an option where you can spread it out, I think, over 4 months, 4 different payments. So that really helps people too, you know, if you can't afford it all in one whack, you know what I mean? So we try and do what we can to give you the best value and the best experience in wrestling. For the fabulous one, John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marty. September is here, baby. It's going to be a new season. Don't forget, this Tuesday night, the old series is done, what we used to have on Tuesday. Not even going to mention it. The new one is coming. Wrestling Inside is Extreme, Tuesday night at 10. We'll see you then. Good night from Boston.
Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.